Target Trading Academy.
Good afternoon, everyone. Preston Vogl here with Target Trading Academy. Today is Tuesday, November 30th. It is just about 4 p.m. Eastern Time with your micros market recap. Starting out in oil here, you don't see any areas. That's because we opened at the bottom of the contract range in oil and danced around there for quite a bit before we had some selling off and ultimately settling about 40 ticks or so from where we opened. So keep that in mind that we did open gap down from yesterday's range, which was also from Friday. We opened higher and had tried to make it back into the range, which we did, but we never continued that move, and the overnight really drove us down to get to where we were, where we opened. So a lot of movement in the overnight and today in oil. Gold opened in its range, went to the top, and then just like all the other markets, started selling off, and it has made some new lows for its contract. So several opportunities for entries off those HVA levels. One right there if you're just looking at it real quick. Again, these levels are given out the night before. Now, the more interesting markets were definitely the ES and the Nasdaq, both in their counterparts of micros and minis. But we opened just below, or not, let's see if I recall, just below or just at the range low from yesterday. So, yeah. So, actually just at the range low. We had a little dip, came back into it, had more selling, and then we had a ton of support at this HVA edge that held really well. Came back towards the open, and then they tested that area one more time before they brought it up into yesterday's range, getting into balance. And then that news, Powell speaking, redefining transitory, boom, you see that selling starting to take place. And that's pretty much all we did all day. Boom. More lows. Now we had great opportunity for entries in our markets, but we did make some new lows for the day. These levels holding tremendously. Again, these levels are given out the night before to the students who have purchased them. Now, the Nasdaq opened inside of yesterday's range, not terribly far from its point of control. If I scroll back here, just a little bit farther. There we go. But for the first, I want to say hour or so, it just kind of meandered around. Didn't do too much, but then it started getting some participation in it, and as it penetrated into the HVA above us. We did have some entries just prior to that, but it did come up to the top peak, and again with that, Jerome Powell talking whatever nonsense he was wanting to spit out. I didn't listen to it. I don't care to listen to any news. Because a lot of people tend to get emotional. You might be confusing the term emotional with, teary-eyed or whatever. No, but you get caught up in the numbers of things and you get speculative, and then guess what? That's not the idea that they may want to have taken the market, and you get hurt financially. So just, looking at news, that's your decision whether or not you do it. But again, they made the market move down. We had the opportunity to catch entries in the same direction based off of our methodologies, based off of these levels here that we give out the night before, giving plenty of opportunity to students, both live and on sim, to make money. So that is where we are in relation to Nasdaq. We're in the bulk of today's volume, not terribly far from where the open was yesterday. It's just around here. So in terms of open and close, from the close, we're pretty far from yesterday, but in a day-to-day spectrum, we're up from last Friday right now. So if you look at it that way, they didn't really make much headway in moving the market. I'm using quotations, but there was a lot of movement in the market, especially with it almost being December and holiday volume kicking in and full gear and whatnot. It can be thin, but again, plenty of opportunities to be had. And with that said, let's get into some of the entries for today. Just wanted to show one today. This is a live student who's recently gone live, who is going into micros first to build that confidence. Something I highly recommend for new traders to do. Get the feeling of going live. It is 100% different than sim, even though you should take your sim training seriously and treat it just like it's live. You'd always have that first initial feeling. You got to get used to it, get numb to it, I would say. Get the emotion out of your day-to-day trading and just take what's there. But Jeremy did an excellent job here with an entry in the micro ES, 2 lots in the micros here, up 32.50 live real money off of our levels that we give out the day before. Now, if you're interested in finding out more about these levels, these HVAs, high volume areas, feel free to reach out to us, or interested in our methodologies around them and how we trade. We are a trading education company. Feel free to reach out to us. You can find us on Facebook, or go to our website at targettradingacademy.com. Get in touch with a representative on either site and find out why we are the #1 trading education company in the world and why we have the most live students in our rooms who are the most successful students. We look forward to seeing you.